Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to the Gentle Path. It's always such a privilege to share this time with you. Just you and me, talking about the deeper moments of life and finding a little clarity and calm for the road ahead. Thank you for allowing me into your thoughts today. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the balance between you and your children, especially as they've grown older, has begun to shift? Moments when their tone feels dismissive, or they overlook your advice, or worse, make you feel invisible. If so, you're not alone. It's a fragile, tender moment when the dynamics of your relationship evolve. And for many of us, this shift carries an ache we didn't see coming. But my dear friends, I want to remind you that relationships, even with our children, are never carved in stone. They adapt, they flow, and most wonderfully, they can heal. Today, we're going to talk about 6 mindful actions we can take to gently earn back the respect we deserve. And I want to promise you this: anger and conflict won't be part of this picture. There are quieter, more transformative paths we can walk together. Shall we take that first step? Action 1. Stop chasing their approval. Let's think back for a moment. Have there been times you've gone out of your way to accommodate your children? Perhaps saying yes when your heart yearned to say no, hoping that if you showed enough love, they'd give back the respect you long for? It's a natural instinct, isn't it? As parents, self-sacrifice feels like second nature. But here's a truth I want you to hold close. Respect is not earned by giving all of yourself away. It's built when we hold on to our inner worth and make space for our voice. Let me share a story about Margaret, an incredibly spirited woman in her earlier years. Yet as she aged, she began to let her children dictate every corner of her life. She rearranged her time for their plans, silenced her own thoughts during conversations, and even accepted their dismissive attitudes. She believed she was keeping the peace, but in reality, she was teaching them that her feelings came second. It wasn't until she started saying no, started expressing her opinions with quiet conviction, that something shifted. Her children began to see her as an equal, as someone who deserved to be heard. Margaret learned firsthand that respecting oneself inspires respect in others. So maybe today, we start small. The next time something doesn't feel right in your heart, honor yourself by expressing it. Your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. And over time, your children will see you standing tall in your own light. Action 2. Lead by example. Instead of arguing, think back to your last disagreement with your children. Did it resolve anything, or did it leave you feeling frustrated, tangled in words that went unheard? It's hard, I know. But what if I told you that respect isn't earned through arguing or insistence? It's shown through our calm, through our dignity, and through the way we carry ourselves when tested. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank was once a teacher with a commanding presence in the classroom, but at home, his children began to disregard his input. At first, Frank argued endlessly, trying to remind them of his wisdom and contributions. Yet the more he pushed, the more they resisted. Then, one day, Frank decided to stop fighting. Instead, he started showing the strength he had always carried inside. He spoke with patience, not to prove himself, but to simply be the steady figure he had always been. And slowly, his children noticed. Respect isn't wrestled into existence. It quietly grows where there's calm, confidence, and grace. What can we learn from Frank? Sometimes the loudest message is spoken in silence, in the way we hold ourselves, in the way we choose not to react impulsively. With every act of grace, we teach those around us what respect looks like. Action 3. Withdraw emotional dependence. Oh, friends, this is a tender one. It's so natural to long for our children's attention, their affection, their validation. But here's something I've learned. The love we crave most from others often blossoms when we first find it within ourselves. Helen, a sweet, generous soul, spent her golden years waiting by the phone, hoping to hear from her children. When the phone stayed silent, she called them instead. But her calls, laced with longing, became something her children began to avoid. Eventually, Helen made a courageous decision. She stopped depending on their calls to fill her days and began filling them herself. She joined an art class, traveled with her friends, and tended to a garden she had always dreamed of planting. And here's the beautiful twist. Her children noticed. No longer feeling pressured, they reached out more, not out of obligation, but because they truly wanted to. You see, when we fill our days with meaning, we remind our children that we are whole people, not merely extensions of their lives, and they will admire us all the more for it. Action 4. Set boundaries and honor them. Boundaries. Have you ever struggled with setting them, worried it might drive your children away or create conflict? You're not alone. But here's the thing. Boundaries aren't walls that alienate. They are bridges of mutual respect. I often think of Robert, a retired businessman who let his children interrupt him, dismiss his views, and treat his home like a transit station. For years, he stayed silent. But one day, he calmly told his son, "I'll continue speaking when you're ready to listen." And when his daughter waved off his concerns, he said firmly, "You don't have to agree, but I do expect respect." Slowly but surely, they learned to honor his terms. Why? Because he taught them that his time, his voice, and yes, his value mattered. Perhaps today is the day to ask yourself, what behaviors will I no longer tolerate? Decide with courage, dear heart, and uphold those boundaries. Your self-respect will guide others to respect you too. Action 5. Stop giving without appreciation. We give so much, don't we? Our time, our effort, our love. But when giving becomes expected rather than appreciated, it can drain us. Generosity without gratitude isn't love. It's enabling. George, a father who opened his wallet too freely and rearranged his time too often, learned this lesson the hard way. His children began expecting his support without acknowledging it. One day, he chose to step back. He gave only when it felt purposeful and aligned with his heart. And slowly, his children came to value his efforts once more. So here's the question. Are you giving out of love or out of a sense of obligation? When we prioritize meaningful giving over automatic generosity, we teach others to cherish rather than assume. Action 6. Build a life outside of them. Finally, friends, let's talk about the beauty of finding joy outside of our children. Eleanor, a widow in her late 70s, felt lost after pouring everything into her family. But when she began pursuing her own passions, volunteering, traveling, and exploring new hobbies, a wonderful thing happened. Her children didn't pull away. They marveled at the richness of her life. A fulfilled parent doesn't demand attention. They radiate something far deeper, a sense of purpose that draws others close. Ask yourself today, what lights me up? What have I always wanted to try? Your joy adds radiance to your relationships. In closing, dear listener, remember this: respect begins within. By setting boundaries, leading with calm confidence, stepping into independence, and cultivating a life rich with meaning, you will rekindle the love and admiration you deserve. Not through demands, but through the quiet power of being entirely yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you'd like to try from what we've spoken about? Please share your thoughts, and as always, thank you for being part of this journey. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are worthy of all the respect in the world.